Do you ever like, wake up at like 4 in the morning, you can't quite get back to sleep, so you sit on the couch for a little while, you realize you're not gonna get back to sleep, and then you just like record a Nic Fit video because you have no control over your life? Yeah, me either. Totally doesn't happen regularly. What are you talking about? Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another video. We are playing with a completely new brew today. So Wired Hyena sent me an idea, and then I drafted up this deck based on the idea. So the idea was to build a Nic Fit deck that does not contain black, and instead use red cards to sacrifice Veteran Explorer. So the red cards that we're going to use to sacrifice Veteran Explorer are Crack the Earth, which makes each player sacrifice a permanent, and Greater Gargadon, which has Suspend 10. So you can play a red mana to throw this thing into exile, and you can sacrifice a permanent in order to remove a time counter from it. And when all the time counters are gone, it comes into play with haste. So the idea is we play a Veteran Explorer, and we use Crack the Earth to get rid of one of our opponent's permanents, and then generate 2 permanents of our own. So that, like, we've used Veteran Explorer and Crack the Earth, that's 2 cards, to get 2 basic lands out of our deck. Big win for us. Whereas when we cast the Crack the Earth, our opponent loses a permanent, and then a lot of times opposing Legacy decks are not going to have 2 basic decks, so that Crack the Earth and Veteran Explorer combo might be pretty devastating in terms of putting me ahead. Now, this is not the only thing that the Crack the Earth is here for, and same with Greater Gargadon. We are also going to be a Blood Moon Dark Depths deck, and we kind of have to go into some rules interactions here. So, if you have a Blood Moon in play, your Dark Depths is a mountain, so it will enter without the ice counters. If you then sacrifice the Blood Moon, the Dark Depths now has no ice counters, so it does its little check thing, and you will create a 20/20. So, the rest of the supporting cast for the deck is a playset of Elvish Reclaimers, and these can just be early 3/4s to block opposing threats. That's one of their purposes. But the other one is to tutor up either Dark Depths or Thespian Stage so that we can create a 20/20 going that route. It also can give us a couple of utility lands. I have a pair of Wastelands in the main deck, and I have Grove of the Burn Willows that we can use to repeatedly return Punishing Fire to control smaller creatures. I'm not sure how good Punishing Fire is going to be because some of the premier threats of the format, such as Dragon Rage Channeler, or Murktide Regent, don't get killed by Punishing Fire. We'll kind of see how it goes. Otherwise, we have a Ramunap Excavator and Life from the Loam package so that we can rebuy the lands, and it becomes less of a deal that we're sacrificing things to Crack the Earth and Greater Gargadon. And kind of the real finisher here in the MVP of the deck is Titania. So when Titania ETBs, you get to return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And you're usually going to pick like a fetch land or a wasteland. And whenever a land you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you get a 5/3 green elemental creature token. Imagine you have a Titania in play, and then you sacrifice all your lands to Greater Gargadon. The Greater Gargadon is probably coming in with haste, and you probably just made like 20 to 40 power worth of elementals. It can be pretty disgusting. Now, here's the thing about this deck construction. The black cards in Nic Fit are the discard and the combo hate cards. So without access to those, I think we essentially just give up game 1 to combo. And I don't know that we can beat all combo with our sideboards. So I have chosen to kind of focus up here. So I have decided to hate on Doomsday in particular by playing a bunch of Torpor Orbs, and this is going to have splash damage in hating on Death and Taxes. And then I've decided to address graveyards and artifacts with the rest of my sideboard slots. So I've picked up a couple of Force of Vigors, a Reclamation Sage for my Green Sun Zenith package, and then Scavenging Oozes and Endurances to help with graveyards. I've also made a super cute decision here. I have put a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale in the sideboard, and in addition to just like punishing go-wide creature strategies, this works on my creatures too. So this is something that I can tutor up in order to get rid of my Veteran Explorers so that I can just ramp out lands. I am excited to see this deck in action. I think we're going to have very polarized matchups where we either crush decks or get crushed by decks, and we'll kind of see how this plays out. you're new here, please consider subscribing. It's one of the easiest ways to support me for free. If you're a regular, hit the like button. That is the easiest way to support me for free, and it matters more than you know. All right, let's battle. Okay, my round 1 opening hand is a little mana light here. I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. This hand is fine. I'm going to need another mana source at some point, but I think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm just going to get rid of the card that I can't. Well, Punishing Fire is how I get rid of my Veteran Explorer and ramp into this Green Sun being something relevant. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Collector Oof. It is the most situational of my cards here. All right, my opponent took 1 mulligan here. I don't think I put a Dryad Arbor in this deck, did I? I don't think I did. Just something to keep in mind for a little bit later. Ooh. Little Doomsday or Death Shadow, maybe? This is going to be a little slow going. In that, like, my clock isn't particularly great right now. But I'm not, like, missing a land drop or anything this turn. And I get to get a relevant card here. I get to pick up an Elvish Reclaimer, which can become a faster clock, or like can actually just get me red mana so I can get like some Greater Gargadon type stuff going. That's another Street Wraith. No other actions from my opponent. Okay. How am I beating my opponent? Probably by putting enough power into play where I can beat a Doomsday pile that passes the turn. I think that's where I'm at. I probably should have played this red land pre-combat rather than like hide the information. Like something random, like me being wrong in there, being like a Snapcaster Mage in there, would be awkward for me. I'm straight up just playing this as a creature with 2 power, like ability be damned. I am looking to have lethal with Punishing Fire through a Doomsday. All right, let's see if I die. Fetching makes me nervous. Okay, all right, that's good. That was a quick shuffle off that Ponder as well. Am I dead? Is it Dark Ritual? Ooh, it's Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize takes my Punishing... Oh, Thoughtseize takes my Gargadon. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with everything that's happening here. I'm gonna do some pre-combat stuff, I think. So I'm gonna Wasteland you. I'm gonna play Wasteland. I'm gonna Wasteland you. I'm gonna go ahead and crash in for most of your life total. Brings you to 5. I think I just go ahead and pass the turn and do an upkeep Punishing Fire. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe I wait. Okay. Okay. I'm going to operate under the assumption that we are playing against Doomsday. Feel like we got a little lucky there. So let's play some Torpor Orbs and let's play some Endurances. So with the Endurance, you can potentially muck up a Doomsday pile or stop an Oracle trigger by putting some cards on top of their library. So basically in this matchup, Punishing Fire has almost no utility. Like it's a bad lightning bolt that goes to the face. That's basically it. Every once in a while there's some planeswalkers or something, or like something weird like Baleful Strix. I think I'm just gonna start by cutting those. I want these 6 cards no matter what. Blood Moons are pretty reasonable here. Life from the Loam feels exceptionally slow. I'm probably gonna cut those, like even though Wasteland Recursion was good this game. Like I'm more likely to set up Wasteland Recursion off of something like Ramunap. Do I want anything else in here? It's reasonable to play a Tarmogoyf, I think, so that I just have something big and dumb that I can fetch for 3 mana off a Green Sun. I cut 1 Greater Gargadon to do that, I think. Just to say this, there is a non-bow in the deck here, in that if my opponent has... Sorry, if I have a Torpor Orb, Endurance gets shut off, but, like, I think that's whatever. This hand doesn't really do anything. How about this one? Turn 1, suspend Greater Gargadon, turn 2, Veteran Explorer, have 3 mana, hold up Endurance, or use Wasteland on turn 2. It's probably fine. Can also just, like, make a 9/7 relatively quickly. Yeah, I probably keep this. Pitch Titania? Or keep Titania? Mulligan is exceptionally difficult. Every single card in my hand has a purpose. Like, if I pitch either... Like, if I pitch Titania, then I don't have something green to pitch to Endurance, unless I hold Veteran Explorer in my hand. Maybe I'll just pitch this land. That way, like, I keep a green card to pitch to Endurance if I have to Endurance early on. I still have both red and green as far as my mana base goes, and then I still have the option to Wasteland my opponent. Oh, neat, another green card. Okay, math, though. Yeah, no, I don't need to start doing math yet. I can just suspend this friend, and then next turn, I can start thinking about, like, how many Veteran Explorers I play and what they do. Like, I can kill my opponent with a potato if I don't die. See what they do. Yeah, ponder away. This is wastelandable. I'll almost certainly wasteland my opponent. To try to keep them off of triple black. I want to keep this popped out. This is important. Ooh. Opponent goes now. So I have Endurance here. I have a Wasteland. This is a May Search, so they don't have to fuck up their Doomsday pile. But they're probably not putting basic lands in their deck. Yeah, so, like, how successful I am here really is going to depend on what they have chosen to play around. I also just have some insane top decks like a Torpor Orb, in addition to just, like, holding up this Endurance. Okay, my opponent has made their pile. I guess let's get rid of this for a second. All right, I don't think I want to go through the work of trying to figure out what all is in the pile here. Like, I think I'm more or less locked into what I'm doing already. I'll play my Veteran Explorer. Oh, sure. No, I'm not going to pay for that. A little surprised my opponent did that. So now I just Wasteland them. And I still have Endurance held up for if they just go for a turbo win here. Okay. Yeah, I imagine that between the two things that just happened, my opponent is not ready to go off. Ho, 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 ho. Yes. I like it. Let's go. Veteran Explorer. Go ahead and sacrifice that. And I'll take my 2 lands, yes. I do not need double red for anything in my deck, so I'll just grab 2 forests. My opponent presumably will grab nothing, yeah. And now I'll play a Blood Moon. How we doing over there? Aww. That's a shame. Can't pay for that. I still have Endurance held up to beat Athos's Oracle. I'm also not too far away from just, like, getting a Greater Gargadon into play and just killing my opponent that way. I go down to 6 counters here. I have 4 things in play. Titania 4 Wasteland. Wasteland them. Seems fine. I won't have Endurance up anymore. But it seems like my opponent doesn't have Artifact mana. I'll have... yeah. So I will play Titania. Okay, yeah. Titania returns Wasteland. My opponent's actually just dead to Greater Gargadon here. Yeah, and they realize that as well. The Wasteland also probably beats them. All right, looking good. We're undefeated thus far in round 1. Got an awkward opening hand for round 2 here. Like, I have an Elvish Reclaimer, which can theoretically get me red mana, but I think it's just better to mulligan this one and try to start on something a little more solid. This qualifies. I will probably just throw back 1 Grove of the Burn Willows. Big fan. You're in a video. Good luck. Yeah, let's throw back 1 Grove. I'm pretty likely to just draw another land. And I think I'll just lead on a Grove. This plants the idea that I'm something like lands, which is very much not the case. Come on, Artifact deck. Ooh, a spicy scrub. Oh, I'm scared now. Is this like Tin Fins? So Tin Fins is an instant... Ooh, no, Mox Opal is not a Tin Fins thing, usually. What are we doing over there? What are we doing over there? Well, we're unfair. Oh, is this like the white splash version of TES? If so, me not getting a turn 2 is bullshit. Because I just have the Collector Oof naturally in hand. Absolute savagery. Alright. What is the damage? So this is Burning Wish, Crack LED. That'll be 5 mana, 6 possible. Wait, not crack? Oh, just straight up an echo. Okay. I'm not necessarily dead here. My opponent is super, super favored, but I'm not necessarily dead. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna F6, and whatever awful thing happens to me, just happens to me. I like long pauses. Long pauses means it's not easy to go off. Storm is 7. Ooh, Wish Claw. Okay, we gotta pass the turn. I probably win the game if I make it around to my next turn and cast a Green Sun for a Collector Oof. So I probably can't wasteland my opponent if I want to play towards that line. Play Reclaimer and Veteran Explorer. I think I can give them the 1 life without it being that big of a deal. So let's just go ahead and dump both creatures. Man, play versus draw was so huge this game. I'm also not going to like super improve post sideboard here. Like I have a couple things that I can play. Like I can Pithing Needle a Wishclaw Talisman, but yeah. All right. Let's see what my opponent has going on. They've got a respectable amount of mana here. It could just be an ad nause. 5 mana? Alright, there's ad nause. I assume I will be dead from 20 before the 1 life matters. Oh, wow, they flipped multiple Echo of Eons. Okay. This is a lot. Yep. Is this the stopping point? This can echo. It's a rough ad nause because they just go LED echo. Oh yeah. Oh. Oof. Like that was rough. Like hitting like the echoes and the tendrils there. Yikes. Okay. Blood Moon's respectable here. I'd like to play Pithing Needles for Wishclaw Talismans. I would like to play Force of Vigor just as free interaction versus some artifacts if my opponent is going to pass the turn. I will probably put Rex Sage into my deck. I don't know that I need any of this other stuff. Like, I can consider a Tarmogoyf. Endurance isn't exactly dead or anything, but it's not great. I probably do not want Punishing Fires. It's a way to get rid of my Veteran Explorer, but it's pretty slow. Like, this is a game where my Collector Oof is what wins it. Like, I get a Collector Oof in play, my opponent doesn't kill it, and I win. That's kind of how this is going to go. So, let's swap a Titania for a Tarmogoyf. This is 61 still. Probably gotta crack the earth. I've cut the Punishing Fire, so I've gone down on ways to like use Veteran Explorer, but like getting rid of my opponent's permanence isn't like that impactful, as weird as that sounds to say. So crack the earth is just like another way to accelerate into 3 mana on turn 2, and 3 mana on turn 2 is how I get to like a Blood Moon or an Oof that might steal me a game. Let's go down 1 Ramunap. Actually, Life from the Loam is exceptionally slow. Yeah. I am going to play a Shifting Ceratops so that I can Green Sun for something with haste. It's a lot of mana, but it might matter. And a lot of my cards here are just not great. I'm also going to play a Tabernacle. It's not a good card, but it's a way to sacrifice my Veteran... Excuse me. It's a way to sacrifice my Veteran Explorer off of an Elvish Reclaimer. Easy mulligan. Ew. I don't think this cuts it either. Let's go to 5. This hand doesn't win. Let's go to 4. This hand might win. So I'm going to get rid of the 2 Crack the Earths for sure. I think I have to keep these 4 cards to have a realistic chance at winning. This is not great. This is absolutely a time where I wish I had a Dryad Arbor, but I do not. I am just, like, going to 100% confirm that I didn't put a Dryad Arbor in here. Okay, I did not. Dryad Arbor as a 23rd land, I think, is a reasonable thing to keep in mind if you want to play this deck. I considered playing 23 lands in the first place. Okay, I've picked up another land. Dryad Arbor. Where art thou, Dryad Arbor? I'm just gonna go ahead and play my fetch here. I expect to be dead next turn if I am not dead this turn. Yeah. There's a lot of times where my opponent is just gonna, like, play out a Wishclaw Talisman and then get me next turn. There is a pause here, which I don't like. Means that my opponent might be thinking about deploying some artifact mana or something. I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and fetch yet. Yep, I'm just gonna play a land and pass here. And I have Green Sun for Collector Oof next turn. And failing that, I could just have a Blood Moon next turn. Okay. So is it go time? Because it sure feels like go time. Am I getting silenced? I am getting silenced. I shouldn't need to fetch for any reason. So I'll F6. Do your thing. This is bad news bears. So this could be an ad nause from 20. Oh wait, no, it can't be an ad nause. Did you? Oh no. Did you punt by not? Oh no. Oh no. So they didn't tap Mox Opal before using Wishclaw and LED. Yeah, so my opponent did not tap Mox Opal and lost the game for it. Oh god, that's brutal. So to be fair, if they just passed the turn and tried to get back in the game, I would have Collector Oof and or Blood Moon immediately, followed by the other next turn. They were dead for that mistake. Absolutely. Wow. All right, I have kept a super average hand for round 3 here. I don't explicitly do anything, but I don't think the hand is bad enough to just, like, throw it back when I have, like, Ramunap plus Crack the Earth, and I have just a lot of bullshit draws in my deck. I think I'm okay. Let's grab a basic forest here, and let's get my boy Collector Oof in there. Before I know, like, what kind of strategy my opponent is on, I think I'm fine with doing this before just, like, jamming the Crack the Earth. It's possible I'm wrong. Like, if my opponent's playing some combo deck, I just want to Crack the Earth as soon as possible as an awkward sinkhole. Okay. That's fine. Although, like, I'm a little punished for not, like, getting a Taiga. So I can't double red spell this turn. So that was a small misstep on my part. I should have played a mountain last turn. Trying to hide information. I think that ends up being a little costly for me. And I want to use the Punishing Fire to get rid of this. Oh my god. That was worth 2 cards? I mean, sure. Like, this isn't even Death Touchy yet. I was just trying to, like, stop that so that I could get rid of a land with Crack the Earth. But okay. See what sort of... Oh. Alright. Alright, now they're Death Touchy. If I get rid of either, though, they're no longer Death Touchy. Oh ho. Yeah. Let's go land. I'll attack in. My opponent will block. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the definition of sexy right here. Delicious. Fucking delicious. I eat it up. That's good soup. Meme. Grab a Taiga. And then I am going to Crack the Earth as a 1-mana land destruction spell. I'll junk a Taiga, you'll junk an island. And then next turn I have Ramunap, and I'll start playing lands from Graveyard for value. Sure. Yeah. Bounce my Oof. I'm good with that. Ooh, another Ramunap. Alright, so let's go. 1, 2, 3. Alright, it has resolved. I'm gonna just grab the Wooded Foothills from the deck and just, like, slowly start thinning my deck here. This also represents a Dryad Arbor, which is super relevant against my opponent's Teferi. Okay, opponent does not have Endurance mana available. That's fine. Let's start pulling the Taigas out of my deck at this point, because I can fetch the basics with a Veteran Explorer later. And I guess I still have 5 mana this turn, so it's whatever. I'll play Ramunap. Ooh. Oh, good old instant speed ponder. Feels weird every time. Okay, it's worked. Want to keep thinning? No, I only have 3 lands left in my deck. I do want to leave some in there for like a Veteran Explorer, so I'll just take playing 2 bodies here. The scales are slowly tipping in favor of my opponent, but like there's some good things for me here. The number one is that like my green suns are live to become Titanias. So that's great. I was about to say, like, my opponent doesn't have second green for an Uro. That's no longer true. 3. Oh, Jace. The Icefang Coatl's now Death Touch, so that's a little annoying. And both walkers are at 3 loyalty, so I can't kill one with an attack. God, a Grove of the Burnwillows would be fucking hot right now. That's a slow Grove of the Burnwillows. How do I feel about losing Ramunap Excavator this turn? Awkward? It would feel awkward about that. Yeah, let's not do that. I want to cast my Reclaimer. I maybe should have played the land before that. So I can either play a fetch land from a hand so that Elvish Reclaimer can be a 3/4 next turn, or I can get value out of Ramunap. I think I'm supposed to play... Well, this can just go immediately back, I guess, and then next turn I could still have it be a 3/4. Yeah, okay, I will play the one from Graveyard then. Alright, I didn't get hit by an end step Swords to Plowshares or anything. Fuck! It's so good! So good! Alright. I'm not dead. Hello! I'm gonna pay my red and get my Punishing Fire back. I can't cast it at instant speed because of Teferi. But that's a real card. Ooh, little... Well, maybe it's fine. I don't know, my opponent's probably far enough ahead where their individual decisions don't matter too much. I guess, like, the Fate Seal on me isn't great. Fate Seal on themselves is not bad. Like, fetch, Fate Seal, use that to get deeper with the Ponder. I'm gonna not fetch and just hold that land in case I draw a Titania. I think I'm green sunning for Endurance so that Uro doesn't get in play. That doesn't feel super great. I think it's what I'm doing. I grab Forest with this, and then I can get Mountain and Forest with the remaining ones, and then my Veteran Explorers aren't super sexy anymore. Guess I'll play this land. Note, I do think I need to get this Endurance and clear out this Uro. I realize that I can just get a Titania and try to do broken things that way. Yeah. But I think this Uro will just beat me if left unchecked. And I'm going to keep Teferi's loyalty down, that I might... Ooh, I micro misplayed as well. I should have played this fetch land so that I could pay... Fuck, I could have paid red for Punishing Fire when my opponent brings back Uro. Oh, that's a big mistake. Like, the Teferi wouldn't have died anyway, but it's a big mistake. Yep. Little things, they matter. I have to say no there. They just have a Forest and a Mountain. I don't have any other Taigas in the deck. I think I have to hit another banger this turn, or I should just concede. Like, Jace plus Teferi plus Uro plus whatever the fuck this is. Alright. A Day's Undoing as well. Yeah, okay. Let's probably pack it in here. Like, this is cool and all, but I am not going to get through everything that my opponent has here. GG's. These Pithing Needles are going to look good, though. So I think I like Pithing Needle. I think I like Shifting Ceratops because it is pro-blue. It'll get through, like, Teferi Bounce, and it can attack through Ice Fangs. Scavenging Ooze is reasonable. Probably looking at bringing in 4 cards. I could bring in more copies of Endurance as well, so I'm just more likely to have one in hand. My opponent doesn't have very many lands that I can wasteland, so I will probably cut my life from the loams. That gives me the Pithing Needles. I don't need Collector Oof. That gives me Shifting Ceratops. And then I have 3 more cards that I can board in. I'm probably going down on Blood Moons here. Like, they can be super useful in some situations, but my opponent has enough basics that I'm probably not taking them off of colors, and I'd prefer to just kind of keep threat density. On that note, I could just go ahead and cut the last Blood Moon just for a creature that I can turn sideways. And I think I will. Nope. No lands. That's unfortunately also a nope. It's so close. Like, these green suns turning into lands would have been dope. Wow. Do I go to 4? I'm more likely to win on 4 than with this hand. Honestly, probably. Unfortunately. This is the best hand so far, easily. So I throw back Titania, I throw back Punishing Fire, and I throw back 1 Green Sun. I don't think I can, like, pray for drawing another land next turn. I think I just have to, like, get the show on the road. Alright, let's pop you out so I don't forget about you. And, kind of see how things go. Guess let's just yield to this. Wasteland? Reasonable. Not going to show that yet. I'm going to go ahead and cast my Green Sun. That grabs a Veteran Explorer. And I'm just going to let this chill for a little while until I need to sacrifice it. I don't have anything else to do with my mana now, so I don't need to turbo this out, and I'm not in any danger of just like, oh, sick. Let's see if this was a trap. I boarded out all my Blood Moons, so it doesn't like super matter what I do here. Just going to lean on the side of green here. My opponent obviously did have basic lands. Yep. That's fine. Like, I need these lands in play if I am going to potentially do something broken. It kind of sucks that my opponent had just all basics here, so this wasteland doesn't get to do anything. They don't have, like, Uro mana quite yet, which is cool. But I'm on stone cold nothing here. Like, I probably have to, realistically speaking, concede to this Uro getting in play. My opponent doesn't have enough cards in graveyard. Fuck. Alright. So this ticks down to 6 on my turn. I play this land. I can sacrifice all of my lands to get a Greater Gargadon and then die when Greater Gargadon dies. That's a strategy. Cast Crack the Earth, hold priority, sacrifice all 6 things to Greater Gargadon, cast Greater Gargadon, sacrifice Greater Gargadon to my own Crack the Earth. Maybe not optimal. I lose this game on the spot to a Swords to Plowshares. My opponent probably plays our own next turn. I don't think this game gets better for me. Let's float a bunch of mana. I hurt myself today just to see if I could kill a Jason Mind Sculptor and not get totally blown out by Swords to Plowshares. A catchy song. See why it gets replayed so many times. All right. What? 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 This has no time counters. There's not a Teferi in play. Huh. That's weird. Guess I'm gonna go do a little reading real quick. Okay. Opponent agrees that I should be able to cast this. I guess I concede here. I'll file for compensation. This one's on the house. But it is super sad if the card that I built this deck around is bugged. Okay, my round 3 opening hand has 1 land here. I think this one has to go back. Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to tell what I'm supposed to put back here. I'm keeping this hand. The Ramunap doesn't really do anything right now, but it's real good if I get wastelanded. And I don't have a way to get my Blood Moon out of play currently, so maybe that just means I'm supposed to throw back the Dark Depths. Forest, go. By the way, bad news. I did test out the Greater Gargadon in a solitaire game, and turns out 100% bugged. Just absolutely does not work. I've already filed for compensation. We'll play out the rest of the league and pretend like nothing's wrong. Is this a Veteran Explorer situation? Might just be an Elvish Reclaimer situation. Yeah, I don't think I necessarily want to play Veteran Explorer if I'm just planning on jamming a Blood Moon next turn. Ooh, a Tundra. Am I about to get Terminused? Or are you just, like, not playing around Wasteland because, you know, Elvish Reclaimer? I don't know. Okay, sure. Don't fetch a basic. Don't fetch a basic. Fantastic. Yes, tap out. Absolutely tap out. I even get a second forest here. Delicious. Play Moon? Do we steal a game? Aha! Game's not over. Like, opponent's deck has basics in it, but this makes it way, way easier for me to win. Yes. Yes. Alright, so I will play Ramunap. Okay, opponent's fucking done with me. Alright, I'm gonna assume that we're playing against some Uro bullshit again. Let's maybe get approximately the same set of things in here. Maybe look at these 7 cards. Blood Moon just won me this game. My opponent absolutely knows Blood Moon is coming now. How greedy is their mana base? That's the next question. So Collector Oof comes out no matter what. I think for this game on the draw, I am going to go ahead and board out the Blood Moons. This gets me Ceratops, Ooze, double Endurance. I cut Crack the Earths before. Just rationalizing that my opponent can make a bunch of land drops and has disposable things. I think I probably did that. This leaves me needing one more card. Play one more Crack the Earth, play one more Collector Oof or Rex Sage or something. Rex Sage could get rid of a library. I just keep a Blood Moon or 2 to make it harder for my opponent to actually cast an Uro. I don't know. I think my opponent's going to play around a Blood Moon this game if they have the capabilities of doing it. Let's submit this, and if we go to a great game 3, I can reevaluate then. This is a reasonable looking opening hand. I will keep this. All right. That's not a basic. Maybe my opponent's mana base is super greedy instead of like regular amounts of greedy. 100% snapping off a Wasteland here. Oh, I might have boarded out Life from the Loam before. Did I board out Life from the Loam this time? No, I didn't. Okay. I mean, Life from the Loam looks legit right now for Wasteland Recursion. That's for sure. Okay, so we did not just take my opponent off of all of their mana here. Hey, bud. How you doing? How you doing? Maybe we should have boarded you out, huh? Put you in timeout? Okay. Alright. I don't know. I can just get to 10 mana and cast you, right? That's a reasonable thing I can do, right? Pretend. I think I have 10 mana sources in my deck. I would have to, like, actually count, but I'm pretty sure I do. Because I have 20-something lands. It's like 8-ish fetches. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, there's more than enough. It's most of my mana sources, though. Alright. Eat a removal spell. Yeah, I should have kept Blood Moon. My opponent's mana base looks super, super greedy. I think I'm just going to ooze here. And I guess I can pick up a Taiga. No, I'm going to pick up a Forest. As of right now, I don't really think that I am going to have to double spell. And I might need the green mana to keep an Uro in check or something like that. Okay, sure. Alright. Slightly punished for not boarding in Whoozy, or did I board in Whoozy What's It? I did not board in Whoozy What's It. I get a Tarmogoyf though. It'll be a pretty thick Tarmogoyf. Sorcery, instant, land. No, it actually won't. Alright. I'm gonna play my land. Let's just send this at their dome. Put them to 16. It's only going to be a 3-power Tarmogoyf. Maybe I wait on it and just, like, play Endurance. The Endurance is a little awkward, but, like, it has Flash. I cannot overstate how awkward it is that the card that I built this deck around is bugged. Because I had some absolutely disgusting Greater Gargadon lines that involved chaining Veteran Explorers together that I don't get to take. Because, like, Greater Gargadon is just a sack outlet. I guess I should have suspended that fucker anyway. I don't know, like... No, I don't think I should have. Life from the Loam. I'll take that. I'll cast my Endurance. I will clear out those lands. Alright, apparently not. You get to make your land drops. That's a little rough for me, just in terms of the tempo. Age. Get a Ramunap. Have anything else sick? I have another Endurance boarded in that could become. Probably that will become that, in fact. Yeah, let's just go ahead and send that in. Didn't get got by an Ice Fang Coatl. Do my whole Green Sun thing. My opponent's got to have something in hand. Like, they have 5 cards. Yeah. Alright. So, I have assorted things to be worried about here. Well, my Blood Moons should be in the deck for the next game. While the Rex Sage would be nice to have access to currently, that Sylvan Library is probably a 1 or 2 of. I don't know how much I'm actually supposed to play around that. And if at any point I actually get to 10 mana for Gargadon, fucking on. Sure, Brainstorm away. This can set up things like Terminus, but like I have a Scavenging Ooze right now. Okay, so my opponent dredged with one of those draws to get back life from the Loam. Araka's in their graveyard now, which is ever so slightly awkward for me, in that, like, I have things like Titania in my deck. Okay, sure. And what's happening? Am I gonna get, like, Teferi'd here? Nope, just straight up another life from Loam. Taking that value. Got, like, Field of the Dead to worry about, like, super long term. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my attack here. For 2 points of damage. Not bad. Going to attempt to eat this life from the Loam right now. I've succeeded. I'll now play a Ramunap Excavator. I'll play a Wasteland, and I don't have to worry about Uro getting into play in 1 turn. So I'm going to attack my opponent's white mana here. Because, like, the Swords to Plowshares, Prismatic Ending, Terminus type cards are the things that I'm most scared of right now. I have theoretical lethal damage next turn if I eat my own Endurance. So, like, I've got that going for me. Green Sun for a Ceratops is also something that could be in my future once I get to a little bit more mana. Okay, I mean, there's white mana again, so my opponent can answer one of my things. Both of my things are quite good here, though. I assume... Oh, wow. So that is digging explicitly for Swords to Plowshares. So my opponent has to hit Swords to Plowshares or they die. The fair gambit. Well, I guess with hitting a second land drop, yeah, okay. But that was basically the situation. Okay, there are no creatures in my opponent graveyard. There's only 1 in mine. A Ramunap again. Can cast this for X equals 3, repeat my Wasteland play. Just have my opponent dead next turn. I can't get them dead anyway. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Put my opponent to 2. And now I attempt the run back. X is 3. Okay, Force of Negation. Pretty darn good here. So now my opponent's white removal is on for another turn. And that Green Sun can't become a Shifting Ceratops anymore, unfortunately. I kind of have threats left in hand. Just kind of, though. Like, Tarmogoyf can get brickwalled by a lot of things that my opponent does. My opponent answering Scavenging Ooze and then playing, like, an Uro would be pretty bad for me. I cannot overstate how good this Greater Gargadon would be if I was allowed to use it the way it was intended. Like, just threatening that hasty 9 damage in this situation is so strong. Yeah. So my opponent can't play that and get it back into play this turn unless they spike another land. Ah, shit. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously very, very, very good. Mystics, sure. I'm not sure if Expressive Iteration is better than just, like, taking a Swords to Plowshares and fully stabilizing the board, but go for it. Like, I'm gonna Thespian Stage that Caracas that you have. Like, that Uro is not gonna kill me. That Uro will be annoying, but it's not going to beat me. Yep, yep, yep. Like, do you need me to tell you how frustrating that sequence of things was? Like, it's the counter spell so that I don't get to wasteland my opponent, which taps down the Scavenging Ooze, which means an Uro can come back, and that also allowed Mystic Sanctuary to happen. That sucks. Tarmogoyf is also a little smaller than I otherwise might have liked it to be. Greater Gargadon, right now, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like, and ah, oh, am I supposed to suspend this thing so like I can sacrifice a Veteran Explorer and like maybe my opponent just like concedes to this? Yeah, this is frustrating. I'm gonna board out the Greater Gargadons and just play Blood Moons, I think. Alright, so here's the Expressive Iteration. Or a Prismatic Ending. You know, at this point, I think this one is probably far enough gone that I should just, like, concede for viewer pleasure. Let's go 4 Blood Moons in, or Greater Gargadons out. I need to keep... Well, maybe need is a strong word. If I want to rely on the Dark Depths package, I should probably keep a Crack the Earth or 2 in there, and then, like, there's Reclamation Sage to think about for the library. Again, there's not going to be that many of those. I think I'm just going to call this good. Turn 1 Taiga Veteran Explorer. Turn 2 Punishing Fire It, get 2 basics. Play Tarmogoyf. Turn 3 Blood Moon. Yeah, this is fine. It's super awkward if I get Wastelanded on turn 1. Otherwise, this looks pretty good. Alright. What do you got for me? Okay, didn't get Wastelanded on turn 1. Alright, so I'll make my land drop. I'll make my attack in for 1. Opponent goes to 19. I'll Punishing Fire my own creature. Ooh, a Force of Negation, pitching an Uro. That's pretty good for my opponent. Because that means that I can't kill this Veteran Explorer to get to my 3rd land to play this Blood Moon on curve. It's super awkward for me. Alright, there's my tiny, tiny beats. Opponent drops to 18, and I'll, I guess, play a Tarmogoyf. Like, Tarmogoyf and Elvish Reclaimer are both medium threats here. Tarmogoyf should theoretically get bigger. Like, my opponent will cast a Ponder or a Prismatic Ending or Expressive Iteration at some point. Sure. I mean, I have gas. I just need the mana to implement my cards here. Sure. Alright, nothing super bad happened here. 2-3. Endurance is a thing. I don't think I'm playing around that. I think I'm just battling. Yep, I mean, I absolutely accept that this is happening. If my opponent has an Endurance anyway, like, they can just nuke their graveyard at any point and make my Tarmogoyf a shitter anyway. So, like, I'm good with it. Yeah. They have chosen to nuke no graveyards. Alright, goodbye Tarmogoyf. I don't have another Punishing Fire to punish this. I'll save this Green Sun and just play an Elvish Reclaimer. Sort of weird that my opponent didn't even like nuke my graveyard and just throw a land back into my deck. Sure. I mean, I need to hit my land drop next turn. I am going to lose the game if I don't. Sure. I'll take that hit. 16. Okay. That's super frustrating. Opponent has 5 cards in the graveyard for Uro. Like, I have a Shifting Ceratops that can be pro, but Like, my opponent still gets to attack with it every turn, draw cards, gain life. Yeah. I mean, it's turn 5, and I didn't hit another land drop, and my thing that would have killed my Veteran Explorer got countered. It's not surprising that I lose this one here. GG's. Alright, I've kept my hand for the final round here. I don't necessarily think it's overly impressive, but something in the back of my head is just telling me that this is a Doomsday player, so I'm gonna just, like, keep this hand that has an Endurance and a green card to pitch to it. Yep. Might be wrong. I recognize this username, and I couldn't fully place it. I was thinking Doomsday. They levy. So we'll grind a fetch land-based value instead. Maybe I should have played a fetch land on 1 to make a Life from the Loam on 2 better. So it goes. Take a forest here. Get my 1 card back. Now if they go like Dark Ritual Doomsday, I'll hate myself, but whatever. Okay, so it looks like we're more along the lines of fair control. Don't need that. Not the worst. I'll suspend that thing. I guess I should play a fetch land first. Grab another basic forest. Play my explorer. Should have probably done that in the other order. So now, at the end of my opponent's turn, I can fetch 2 basic lands, use that to cast an Endurance, and then attack for 3, while opening up some green sun-based lines for myself. For sure. There's a lot of Uro, just everywhere. And it's also so important for me to have access to the Greater Gargadon in these matchups to close out the games with haste damage. So, yeah, that's a thing. I now need to hold this Endurance until I can, like, hit that Uro with it. So I'm just going to chill. I will thin the deck of, like, a Taiga here. And let that tick down by 1. Nope, do not want to dredge. Okay. Attack for 1. Play Grove. Sack Explorer. Go up to 6 mana. Green Sun for 5. Return Windswept Heath. Create a shit ton of elementals via Greater Gargadon. That all sounds very, very sexy to me. Let's do that. Alright, opponent goes to 21. So let's sacrifice this. I will absolutely use this ability. Go a forest and a mountain. Please don't have Force of Will or Force of Negation and make Phil sad. You'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. No whammy. Oh, that's a no whammy. Delicious. Yeah, I'll just pass the turn here. I know my opponent has Caracas, but I can do a lot of bullshit at instant speed. I just need to play around Terminus by not going ham right now. Also, just saying, like, Greater Gargadon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I play a land, that's 8. Could have 9 more hasty damage next turn, that's not gonna work. Which is super frustrating. Alright. I'll respond. Fetch. Create an elemental. Just yield to that. Grab a forest. Sack a land. You play land into another Terminus, I'm fine with just losing. But I'm going wild here. I would like my elemental boys. All of them. Another! Gonan's not conceding here. I guess I could also die to, like, a random EE or something. Down. And since, yeah. That's fine. Alright, I made 40 power. Like, what you got? Something, apparently. Yeah, sure. You have to, like, hit a land and then go into an EE. I guess you could still brainstorm into a blind Terminus. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Alright, so we got some Uro nonsense again. Let's do Pithing Needle, Ooze, Endurance, Ceratops. Consider some of this stuff, too. Like, sideboarded differently every time here. My opponent had basics this time. So the Blood Moon loses some stock. So if I go Blood Moon's out, Oof's out, and just, like, cut the Gargadons because they're bugged, how much of that does this give me? All of it, actually. And my card's being bugged. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, do I play one Moon? Do I play one Gargadon? Like, the Gargadon Titania combo is still sick, but, like, if the Gargadon itself isn't coming off, that's super rough. Play a Miser's Blood Moon, you know? I have a reasonable-looking opening hand here. I'll keep this. I wish it had one more land. Sure. So we're looking at a Ponder then? Yep. And that's no shuffle with the Ponder. Do I reset the scoreboard? It's not great for me to reset the scoreboard here. I don't have a billion lands in hand. I don't have cantrips to find lands. I don't think I reset the scoreboard here. I'm also not just gonna like name Misty Rainforest here. I think there's a world where you can try to go like Pithing Needle, Misty Rainforest this turn, Crack the Earth next turn or something like that. But like if they play a Misty Rainforest, then that's like super awkward. Or if they just play a different fetch land, it's kind of whatever. Yeah. All right. Life's awkward. I can, if I Green Sun for a Veteran Explorer, then I don't have super good payoff anymore once I have those lands. But if I get Veteran Explorer, then I can like Crack the Earth for value. But like trying to use Crack the Earth for mana denial while also giving your opponent's basic lands is like super sketch. I think I need the mana though. Like I am definitely tight on mana here. Line's not great if my opponent just ends up casting a Source of Plowshares or another Prismatic Ending though. But I don't think I get to be overly picky about what I'm doing here. All right, there's a basic. Ooh, Snapcaster Prismatic Ending is pretty damn good here. I'm just going to let that happen, though. I don't think it's worth 2 cards for me to stop that. Jeez, okay. A little limited here. I'm quite bad against an Uro here in some ways. Like, I have the Scavenging Ooze, but, like, in the world where, like, this gets answered, life's pretty bad for me. Gonna take this hit. All right, that's almost good. I'll bash in. Resistance is pain. Yeah, I really use one more land in my deck right about now. I have gotten a little stuck on mana a few times, admittedly. But this is just a super weird hand that I drew. Like, I think it's pretty unlikely to, like, just keep missing land drops like this. Let's grab Veteran Explorer, try to use it as a blocker, get up to a respectable amount of mana. But I think I more or less have to concede to another just exile-based removal spell. Don't do it. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Crack the Earth's not looking good right now. See what my opponent has here. I can Needle a Planeswalker once my opponent plays one, sure. But I think I just lose to this stuff on the ground anyway. Like, I take 6 this turn, I'm dead in a turn +1 damage, meaning that, like, fetch lands aren't really good anymore. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just concede here and try again. So I know my opponent has Icefang Coatl, but my opponent also has a bunch of non-basics. Leaves Blood Moon in an awkward spot. My opponent has a few more creatures than I thought. I think I might try to steal some games with Blood Moon on the play. Probably means going down on Crack the Earth or Life from the Loam. Yeah, maybe let's go down on Life from the Loam and go down 1 Crack the Earth. I'm a little light on ways to actually take my Veteran Explorers out of play, which I don't love. Good Tabernacle, but don't think the control matchup is the time to bring in the extra land here. Okay, how does this look? Well, Crack the Earth plus Blood Moon combo here is super awkward in this particular hand. Not sure if I'm supposed to keep this. Like, this is a very awkward set of cards. I can't play the Blood Moon on turn 3 without doing turn 2 Veteran Explorer, turn 3 Crack the Earth to give my opponent the basics, unless I spike a land in 2 draws, which is somewhat likely. I'm gonna mulligan. This has 1 land. This is not gonna work. That is 1 wasteland. This is not gonna work. That is unacceptable. As a 3-card hand, this also doesn't win the game. Alright, that's the end of this league. That's super disappointing. Overall thoughts on the deck. If Greater Gargadon was not bugged, we would have either 3-2'd or 4-1'd this league. The deck's okay. I think the deck has some innate problems. So I think the deck needs to run either 23 or maybe even 24 lands. Like 22 or 23 was often the number that Nic Fit was running, but like I really wanted more lands. Like I could probably pretty reasonably like put in a Dryad Arbor and a third Wasteland into this deck and be kind of happy with that. There's some innate non-bows in the deck with like the Veteran Explorer sometimes giving your opponents basics and making your Blood Moon wins less likely to happen. And we never actually did just like play a Blood Moon, sacrifice it, and get a Dark Depths for free. Our games tended to be either won or lost by that point. There were some cute things in this deck list, like the Tabernacle that was fetchable. But a lot of times it just felt like we were playing a green mid-range deck that sometimes did absolutely absurd shit. I think we won rounds 1 and 2 largely off of hate cards, if memory serves. So the deck list was okay. I don't think it was anything special. The idea here of like using Crack the Earth as another Veteran Explorer target that like sometimes can just sinkhole your opponent for free is super cool, but they get some of the lands back, so like I don't give this one a thumbs down, but with Gargadon bugged, it is absolutely not playable on Magic Online at this time. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, throw me a like on your way out. If you have any thoughts on the deck list, throw those in the comments, and have a great rest of the day. See ya!